Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Kshipra Chauhan with us. A brief introduction of Dr. Kshipra. She has done her bachelor's in life sciences from Kumaon University in Nainital, and for master's she joined CCS University Meerut and did in bioinformatics. Then for PhD she joined National Institute of Malaria Research, and currently she is assistant professor at the School of Applied Sciences and Technology in Gujarat Technical University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. With this brief introduction, we'll welcome Dr. Kshipra by saying thank you so much for taking time out for this conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. It is my privilege and it is an honor to be invited here at this good platform, STEM for Society. And thank you for the introduction. Yes,
We always
as
start so these conversations, we always start that how and when you decided that you want to become a researcher.
okay, yeah, interesting question. And I think if I think about it, then it started somewhere when I was doing my post graduation, and during that time I was throughout a science student, so yes, science was always um, there, like there was a curiosity to know more about anything, from childhood. But yes, how to do research and all, this came to me when I was doing my 6 months project work at Renbaxi in Gurgaon. And at that time, I was working on asthma problem. And my work, because I was a MSc bioinformatics student, so my work was totally in silico. And there I got to know like how simple studies can, actually contribute. So from there, I was like, okay, I want to become a researcher. That kind of inclination was, I first felt like, yes, I want to do some research work. I can think of that moment. And yes, after that, I got a chance to work with biotechnology R&D company also, which is Pramas Biotech. It is still there in Manesar, Gurgaon. And there, I had a very wonderful exposure about there we worked on, developing the in-house MTP detection technology, and we filed a patent also for that particular technology. So yes, these small research exposure actually made me think कि yes, I should establish myself as a researcher.
Nice.
So
So it
that was.
was more or less like the training which you got, and then you were like, okay, interested in this because, as you mentioned about the curious brain from childhood, that's most of the researchers that, like, from their childhood, they are like, okay, we want to know why something is happening. But
Yes.
you were like, okay, I tasted research first, and then I was like, okay, now this is something which I want to pursue. So you
uh,
already had this, as you mentioned that your short-term project at Renbexy, which like kind of prepared you that okay, now I'm ready for the next stage to do a PhD. The decision, the thoughts behind that decision, if you can say, and then will move forward.
yeah, the thought for PhD was like when I was doing this, I was on job in Primas Biotech. There was like day and night we were doing this research work, but somewhere I had this thing, because in industry, that we are not supposed to write, but it is there, but we are not very much into writing publications, so that thing was there ki how to write a paper. I didn't had that kind of training. I had very wonderful training about how to do research, how to work on a given problem, how to work within deadlines, and how to deliver typical difficult projects. But yes, how to write a paper, that actually gave me this thing, like after doing the job, I thought of, doing PhD. So that was a different kind of thing. Like after my job, I shifted towards, doing PhD. So yes, and PhD also in the field of evolutionary biology and population genomics. So that is also, I think, when you said that, because you are asking this question, so I can, now correlate that when I was in class 9, there was a subject evolution, there was a chapter where we used to study about evolution. So I was always curious, and I was always studying more about, evolution and all. And I was very much fascinated about that particular topic. So yes, for my PhD also, I did my PhD in evolutionary biology, and because bioinformatics was so evolved at that time, I had this chance to work on molecular aspects of evolution, which was really worth it, I should say.
So this
So
is almost an unconventional route because in India and even in around the world, people do their PhD and then they start looking for the industrial research. In your case, it
yes,
was like you were doing already the industrial research and were more
yes.
motivated to PhD. So that decision, let's start with the journey of PhD. How did that go for you?
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, PhD was also wonderful because when you are moving, you are again going into a student life. So it has its own advantages, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. We had our ups and downs, as everyone have. Like one at one point of time, you think like, what I'm doing, am I going to get the results properly, what I have thought, what hypothesis I have generated or thought of, and the results which I am getting, and simple worries like from where I will get the samples. These kind of worries were there, but eventually it happens like you learn. So PhD is itself is an experience. So everyone should have that experience. Yes, job is must. Job experience is very good to have, but PhD teaches you several things. Because it is you are the only person who is totally responsible. In job, you are a member, you are a team member, but here whatever research you are doing, it is whole soul your baby, I should say. So yes, we learn a lot. We get to know how to be independent in our research, how to navigate difficulties. So that ways PhD teaches you um, very good learnings, I should say.
Absolutely. And in fact, Dr. Tiadak always says that PhD is a training which trains you for the rest of your life. Once you're
Yes,
done with
it
it,
is.
you can face anything and everything in your life.
And I have seen the change within my approaches,
Mm.
because yeah, it gives you a different perspective. So it is, if anyone who is thinking to move forward in R&D, PhD will really give you not only the professional edge, but yes, it will give you a different perspective also.
Absolutely. And especially those all those failed experiments when sometimes it is so simple that it's just either the chemical was not labeled fully or it somebody just changed the bottle and you are doing everything fine and still nothing is working. So that troubleshooting, I think, is what you are also saying.
And troubleshooting is like, I had I chose one primer set from one of the published research. Okay, and I was very confident when I designed my project. So in the methodology, I said, I will use these primers. But those primers were not giving me, they were very good in PCR, but they were not giving me the sequencing results. And that kind of troubleshoot, when you do yourself, you read what kind of chromatograms will come, and how to judge with what is going wrong. So these experiences now, because I have I am able to tell my students if they are stuck, if they are coming to me, ki, ma'am, we are stuck. What should we do? We did that. Even others to recently, one of the student who was working on multiplex primer designing, she came to me and I was able to tell her that don't take these kind of primers. Primers are the problem. You are supposed to design it yourself, use these kind of thing, don't rely totally on software, apply your biology, these kind of things which you only get while doing it on your by hand, I should say.
Absolutely, and
So
especially talking of those primers and published research that
yes,
once a scientist said that you don't have to follow blindly what someone has reported. As you
yes,
said, that you have to use your brain, the biology, your understanding of biology, and then design your own experiments. Yes, you
yes,
can take guidance from what people have done around the world, but again, if you're just reproducing their data, that means you are just changing the sample size and you're not doing the science which you are supposed to as a PhD
yes.
student or as a researcher in your career then.
And this gives you a uh, this gives you this information also, na? Like your purpose of doing that research is totally different. So when you have a different objective, how can the same solution will be helpful to you? It is it is not there. So don't think, but yes, this knowledge also comes when you are actually diving into this particular situation. Otherwise, though everything seems very fine. This is there. I need to just do this. So yes,
It is like when anyone is writing their uh, the proposal for their thesis, it looks like it is doable in 2 years
yes,
and everything will be fine. But when
yes.
you start doing it, and those first 2 years are the most challenging ones for everyone, for most of the PhD students, when they think that nothing is working, and
Nothing is
suddenly
working,
everything start working.
and you are sitting just because you don't have chemicals in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to know like how to utilize your time. You know, you are not able to do the wet lab. So let's do the analysis work. Let's study more about what can be done. What are the new technologies which are coming when you were busy in doing your wet lab? What are the new technology which can be applied into the same problem? So these kind of teachings you get only in your PhD experience. Otherwise, everything is very well set as a protocol and you are following it.
Mhm. So you just touched upon the important point of time management for a PhD scholar. If you want to
Yes.
elaborate something that how they should make their roadmap for those entire 3, 4, 5 years as much as time it takes.
Yeah, that is a very important point, and I think anyone who is going for a PhD, they should be like first full year they should be more focused on their review of literature and all the technologies which are available at that time. They should learn about it. They should go and attend the workshops, the every new technology which they don't know, means find a mentor or find collaborators, find the labs who are working on the same problem, what kind of technologies they are using, and what is the new, especially in the era of AI and this thing. You can there are softwares coming out in every 1 or 2 months. So these kind of, especially for bioinformatics people, I'm saying, there you can find. So first year should be totally devoted to your review of literature. If you are having sample collection or something like that, so sample collection should be there. And handling, you should be very much into handling and testing, like my methodology first few steps are working or not, because that, if you will test it within starting years, you will have a very good idea like how I'm going to finish it within the stipulated time. And then the second year, I should say, do day and night all your experiments, all your analysis. And yes, because in this era, this is a generative AI era. I today only I was discussing it with my students, because what are they doing? If I'm giving them a problem, like find the methodology for this thing, they are coming within half an hour and they are telling me the whole methodology. And I was like, okay, we used to get we used to study a lot, and you are coming up with this. So I got this key chat GPT is working here, but chat GPT is there, use it. Use it properly, because it will help you, it will enhance your research, that is there. But it is also cutting the time. So if you are planning to do it in 3 years or 4 years, 2.5 years, you can finish your work. So that ways, if you are using generative AI or AI, it is very well, it will be very well taken. And yes, and at the last, work upon the discussion part of your thesis. So again, your review of literature, which you have done in the first year, and in the meanwhile, when you are doing the research, those, and at the time of publishing, what is the latest which you can find. So that ways you can finish your PhD thesis or submission and something like that.
Absolutely. And for you brought a very important point of Chat GPT and AI. So while grading, this is for all the students who are either using it or intending to use it. This might sound very not practical, I think, but while grading some of those assignments, when I see some students, because they are so procrastinating for submission of these assignments, they submit it at the last minute of when they are due. And what
Hmm.
they forget is to remove those things that you want me to regenerate, or those things which needs no brain for anyone who's reading it, that what you have
This
used.
is, yes,
So
yes.
at least try to use that much of brain that some human is going to read it.
Yeah.
And then this is not a terminology what they use. So
Yeah.
if you're using it, use with your brain, and then always make sure that AI is using the entire universe, whatever is published, every single word anywhere. And you are the expert of your field, especially when you are writing your thesis. As a PhD scholar, there are very few people who know as much as you know for that specific topic, because that's where you have spent 4 or 5 years dedicated to that.
Yeah.
So try to honor that and try to make everyone's time worth when they are reading all of those writings. So talking of the PhD one, so when you were done with your PhD, Dr. Shipra, what was the next move when you were about to submit your thesis? So what you started thinking of?
Yeah, immediately after finishing my PhD, finishing PhD, and I was about to submit my PhD thesis, I was like, what what is next? What I should do? And being a woman in research, you have certain constraints also. So I had family obligations, and so I opted um, way where, because I always wanted to be a working professional. So, and family obligations are there, where which I only because I am the responsible person, I cannot neglect those. So I chose one path where I am involved in I think research, but that was not a research on bench. That was like I joined IPR firm, and one of my friend introduced that domain to me. Like, this is a very good domain because you have very good analytical thing. She was my good friend. She knew what are my strength and what are my weaknesses. So she told me, like, because you have a very good analytical brain, so you can come into this analytics of field, which is IPR. So I started working on that, and I found it very fascinating because there you are always on the top. What is the latest, what is coming in the future in your technology? You get to know those things. So I worked there in that particular domain for around 3.5 years. 1.5 year I was working with a firm, and then again, because yes, there was a few constraints which were ongoing. So in the meantime, I established my own firm also. I established LLP, and I started working as a freelancer. And there I used to take bioinformatics project for analysis, as well as I used to do the IPR analytics as a freelancer. So and then COVID hit. So these were the challenges. And then again, my family shifted here in Gujarat, Ahmedabad. So whatever I was doing, I left it behind. I came here. I again started my career, and I joined this state government university, which is Gujarat Technological University. And here, as you can see, whatever you work will always be valuable. So here, yes, my main job is I'm working as a professor here, assistant professor here, as so I'm taking classes, I am doing my research work, as well as I'm managing IPR cell also here. So and immediately when I came here, because I had this because when during our PhDs we are more inclined towards publication, but working in IPR domain gave me this perspective also, like you can think of getting it, patented, and what can be patented and what cannot be patented, and what are the different types which we are generating as a researcher, but we were not considering it as an innovation. We were just looking at as a publication material. So, and here I got very good group of students. So I was able to develop few technologies, and I got them patented. I got designs, and this is like, yes, you are learning, and I'm still learning. So
Yeah, we all are always learning, and as you mentioned about a different perspective, this is what research, or we can say the researcher attitude, does to you. You
yeah,
start connecting those dots, as you mentioned, that
yes,
instead of just publication, if you can
yes,
actually come up with a product or a service out of your research that is even
yes,
more valuable, and how you can make it quicker, you can
yeah,
only do or help people if you yourself are aware of those things. So,
yes, yes.
as you mentioned about that, we'll take some time for talking about women in research. This is one of the topics now coming up more and more in India. And also, this is a discussion in world forums all around the, different countries all around the world. So, what are your thoughts on when people start talking about women in research?
Um, in at current uh, time in current time, if you are talking about research, women in research, so it is a wonderful time, I should say. And more and more women are coming in this field, and they are doing excellent job. So in India, earlier also women scientists were there, and but because of the this literacy in women, because this last the generation which the previous generation from us, they were more into girls education and all. So now you can see the impact directly. You can find your colleagues and your peers, and women are there even, and they are doing really good research, and students also. If I'm saying, like, it is there is no this thought in their mind. The student who are female students, they don't have this mindset like we cannot work after a few hours of the day. They are working They don't think like there is a constraint for them. Their families are supporting them. They don't have any problem, so they are valuing whatever they are doing. Their girls are doing. They are supporting them that if you are working late in the lab, it's fine. So perspective has changed, and yes, it is actually helping. Few challenges are there. Challenges are always, but those challenges are for everyone. Yeah, the form of challenges for women are different, but they are there for men also. So because now the society is not like कि they are restricting us. Society is supporting women also, and women are taking that as an opportunity, and they are excelling. They are really doing a good job in research, I should say.
Absolutely. And this is something which, as you correctly mentioned, that the generation, our parents, they actually started working more on it. And that is
Yes.
the result, what we are seeing now, all the fruits which they have worked very hard on. Another topic of like becoming entrepreneurs. Now researchers becoming entrepreneurs. As you mentioned, you yourself have established an LLC. And then now we had conversations with our researcher celebrity, with the students who just during their thesis, they came up with something which they patented, and then they started their own companies. So after PhD, they started directly became entrepreneur. So your thoughts on that and your experiences with it.
Yeah, it is a very wonderful time for in India, at least I can say, because our government is supporting that, because we have this Viksit 2047 momentum which is going on. And if you will come here in India, you will see the momentum, you know, the momentum which is going on for entrepreneurship. For lots and lots of funds are there, and government is promoting students. We here, if I am talking about Gujarat, we have student SSIP policy, where if they want to go for patent, they don't have to spend any uh, money. They will get the entire process will be funded by government. Similarly, if you are going for startup, universities are having these policies that if you are moving towards commercialization, the universities are having this policy that they will support you. You are not supposed to take any tension about how to commercialize. We recently held this technology transfer conclave, where we presented all the technologies which we had at GTU developed by students and faculty. We showcased those to the invited companies, and this kind of activities are ongoing, so students are getting lots and lots of advantages of that. Then there are several funds. Even a small town student also, if they are just going directly to the bank, they are the PM Mudra Yojana kind of thing is going on. So they are getting funds from there. And in universities, we are if you are going, we sometimes they are supporting, like for 3 years, we will not take anything from you, and you just go and establish. Faculties are also encouraged, like you can take this kind of role. The Ministry of Education, they have rolled out this Kapila scheme, and they have rolled out other schemes also, like where they have defined these guidelines, like a faculty also can contribute to a startup. And so these kind of promotional activities are ongoing. So this is a wonderful time where a student or a faculty or a researcher can think of translating their research. It is not like just publish and finish. You can have a very good future, not only for yourself, for your community, for your country, just converting it as a product, as a company, as a job uh, producing firm, you can say. So
Absolutely.
that ways, it is a very good time.
So we talked about all these great opportunities, wonderful time. Let's take some time for talking and discussing the problem of PhD dropouts, which is increasing in India now. We are seeing that people, after spending 2, 3, 4 years, sometimes even in premier institutes, there are cases that the students are dropping out after 3, 4, 5 years. And in the very sad cases where there are suicides involved in those. So the amount of pressure, either it is the field experiments or as you mentioned about publications,
Mhm.
this pressure, how we as a community can help these students, your thoughts.
Yeah, this is a really concern. Good. The only thing is, yeah, few cases are there, but mostly, if I will say, because I have seen people dropping out from PhD here also, but most of them were like they got a very good option as a job prospect. So they left because they didn't find that, calling from within, like they should continue for doing PhD or research because whatever reasons they might have, they didn't find it very interesting, or they didn't, there were family obligations. There are certain things. So these things are also there, but yeah, few cases which is which needs to be discussed is like if you are in that verge, like you are thinking nothing is working out, and um don't my suggestion is don't take it that seriously. It is not bigger than your life, and always talk to your peers. You will always find one friend, whether in your junior group or senior group or faculty or peer or somewhere, who is just your neighbor. Just talk to them, uh, share your problems, or try to connect with, you know like-minded people, and like I should say, what kind of people, like people who are working in the same kind of problem across the world might be. And what I found is researchers or any community, they're very helpful. If you will reach out to them and you will just drop a mail, like I am doing this thing in this particular university or research institute, and I'm stuck here in this, I think if you will send few mails, you may get one or two reply. So never, but in anyhow, if you are not getting that kind of help also, PhD is not bigger than your life. Yes, you can drop out. You can go and you can find there are several things which you can do with your life. Don't do it.
Absolutely.
So it is not a must thing that yes, I should continue. Yeah, it is there. The stigma is there. I have spent 4 years. I have spent 5 years. Fine, but you are not supposed to end the life. Several years are ahead of you. So don't. This is my advice. I don't know how else.
Absolutely. In fact, I think you just said it the best way possible, that nothing is bigger than life.
Yes.
Literally, like PhD, yes, if you are a passionate researcher, as Dr. Shipra mentioned about, now the technology is global. If something is not working with you in your lab, you can actually write to people all around the world who are working, or probably the best people are the one whose paper you are citing, the work you are, following. Because sometimes, even if it can be as simple as a primer thing, as we started this discussion with, and if you write to the main, the author, and then they might say that, oh, yeah, I think there was a typo or there was a mistake. We can help you with that. There are people around the world who are ready to help you, but
Mhm.
they will only come to know that you need a help when you start seeking. This is for the international one, but the first and the foremost easiest thing to do is talking to your supervisor, talking to your peers, junior, senior, anyone and everyone, as Dr. Shipra mentioned, because they are there, they might have faced it, and this depends a lot on your personality, because some people are more open for discussions, because Once you publish a paper, success, everyone is ready to celebrate. But the failed experiments, which is taking a toll on your mental health, these are the things which needs to be discussed more. And that's why we always talk in these conversations that having a friendly environment in your lab, in your research group, is the most important part where you feel that, okay, I can talk to anyone and this is my safe place where I can just tell that, okay, this thing doesn't work. Nobody is going to judge me on that, okay, you don't know the basics or so. These are all the things which you should start seeking support if something is not working instead of waiting for long time, repeating it and getting more and more frustrated because we all, uh, I don't know many of the researchers in the world who have never faced a failed experiment. So you are not the only one. We all go
Yes,
through it.
we always. And working on problems, and when you are communicating with journals, that time also you're not sure whatever you have done is correct one. So uh, for that my PhD guide told me, like, who is the person uh, who is there sitting in your references the most, how many times you have cited his or her paper. They should review your paper, you know and the perspective which they brings to the table, not only enhance your confidence, it boosts your confidence. And yes, you think like, okay, I was on correct path, you know and I'm acceptable in the research community though. So that kind of confidence you need. So when you will talk with them now, you will get to know that you are on correct path, and whatever depression you were facing, it will slowly go away. So yes, communication is the best thing.
And this is also one of the efforts with researcher celebrity conversations, where we want to acknowledge every single researcher possible that your work is honored. You are contributing to this world by doing either you are doing a PhD or not you are doing PhD, but if you are actively engaged in research, you are helping the world. And we should acknowledge a little bit more because Dr. Sipra mentioned about the reviewers. Sometimes they are very good, sometimes they are not. And that
Okay.
depends on how you take the critics. If you are very open, I think that these reviewers actually enhances the impact of your work when they submit some of their critical comments, and then you're like, oh yes, we never thought, and now you see that the impact has grown sometimes logarithmically. So having this open-mindedness and positive attitude for reviewers is also important.
Because touch wood, I should say, I always found uh, those comments very helpful. And it was really, sometime I was like, "Ki, let me communicate, and then let me see what kind of analysis I am getting." So it was always helpful. So I think I'm blessed.
Oh, absolutely. And this is, I think, the most important part for all the audience who are watching this conversation, that when Dr. Shipra says blessed, it is the attitude which you work with. You will see people, researchers complaining about it. Again, there is nothing golden standards. You have your own days, you have your own attitude. But the only thing is, like, if research excites you, we all are here. We are building this community to help you so that you can reach your goals by getting this network, this community which is there to help you. So, the last word of wisdom, Dr. Shipra, if you can say for the
Okay.
researchers.
Wisdom. I don't know how much wisdom do I have, but yes, I should say all the best to all of you. And if you have this curiosity in your mind, I know you will find all the paths which will lead you to the success. So don't worry, never hesitate, and take the difficult task as a challenge. And then I think every one of us will come out with flying colors. So that is the only thing I think which I can say. I don't
No,
know.
great. It was awesome. This conversation will help so many of the researchers, the people who will listen to this, and then they can correlate with this conversation, and now their confidence is boosted. So, to all the audience, I'll say that you can write to Dr. Shipra directly if you want Empowering Science Foundation for putting you in touch with our researcher celebrities. You can write to us, and then we are there to help you if you are there seeking for help. And with this, we'll say thank you so much, Dr. Shipra, for this conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Raja. You are doing a wonderful, initiative, and it is really, I hope, helping a lot of us who are working day and night in this field, and we are listening to, the people who are facing or who are living the life which we are living. So it is always helpful to listen to each one of us. Thank you, and it is wonderful sharing my thoughts with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
You
your
made the
kind
session
words.
very comfortable. I was very much, nervous, like
Thank you
what I
so
should.
much for your kind words. And for all the audience, stay tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity.